Hey, what's going on, everybody? Slender here with a new video, and today we're going to go over the known issues and bugs mega thread for the summer update. I think I'm a little bit late this time, but what actually prompted me to do this one is I was having a problem, in game using my jewel crafting food, and then I noticed none of the food was working. The stat food, and maybe it just doesn't show the buff. I didn't really look too far into it. I was just trying different foods and just didn't see any buffs popping up. So I looked on the forums, didn't see anything about it, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I might as well just check the mega thread to see if it was on there." And here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at it. By the way, you guys like my background? This is the second or third background I've made with Wallpaper Engine. This one turned out pretty cool. The trees are moving, sparkly blue stuff coming off the fish, trees moving in the background up here. And of course the water moving. Oh, and the sun rays. Thought that was pretty cool. So if you guys like it, you can also download it. It's only 1080p though. But anyway, back to the purpose for this video. So greetings adventurers, and this is 9 days ago, by the way. There's going to be issues that pop up while we're actively developing and breaking things in New World. These are some of the known issues that we are currently aware of and actively working on resolving. So let's go. So general, players are unable to transfer servers due to pending trade post transaction despite not having any pending transactions. Now, if anybody is having the same issue and you really want to transfer servers, there is currently a workaround. I'll include it in the description for the video that you can use to transfer even when you're getting that message. But in a nutshell, you just go to a shrine, a fast travel shrine, and transfer servers from there. The button just magically pops up and no more trade post issue. So players are unable to see music in the inventory after opening cache in Summer Medley Fair quest line. There's a current workaround for that too. Monarch's Bluff is not available as a starting zone. Summer Medley Fair start date is incorrect on landing screen. When using the hotkeys C plus left mouse button while at max repair parts, the player cannot salvage the item. Note that players can still salvage regardless of how many repair parts the player has by clicking on the item and salvaging the item through the item menu. And the quest Goodwill Squashing is unable to be completed. All things combat. Jumping during an invasion can create an odd animation. Void Gauntlet's description text is not aligned in the flyout. Weapon swapping when landing can cause current weapon to have secondary weapon unsheath animation. Attacking immediately after being hit while in inventory can cause desync. Certain abilities inaccurately display on or off cooldown with high lag. Positional desync can occur during using certain life staff abilities. Using abilities right as logging completes will put the ability on cooldown but not use it. Animation desync when moving out of Void Gauntlet Petrifying Scream ability. Killed with UI shows placeholder when killed by some newer damage sources. Player can occasionally swing their other weapon instead of Great Axe if swap and attack keys are rapidly pressed. If player dies to Gravity Well, respawn screen and telemetry show the weapon used was an Orichalcum logging axe. Void Blade, when deactivating during migration, can cause stutter and desync. Warhammer Shockwave can stun a foe even if they block the attack. Player positionally desyncs when using Great Axe charge into a stun. Light staff skills are being casted on dead players in group mode despite the prompt saying otherwise. Pylon Burst continues to activate even when the pylon does not fire a projectile. Positional snapping desyncs when fighting multiple mobs. Targeted healing group member HUD highlight remains on screen in menus. Player desyncs potentially when hit with Ice Gauntlet Mastery Wind Chill when using abilities that provide movement. Rapier Mastery Riposte can cause the player to positionally desync. Great Axe Mastery Maelstrom Absorb Upgrade displaces allied AoE targeting. Musket Mastery Critical Reload causes repeat animations when triggered. Mending Infected Throw perk does not function with all enemies. Keenly perks cooldown reset on weapon swap empowered and jagged. Buffs provided from weapon perks on armor persist through weapon swap. Stamina going exhausted in PvP after being hit and dodge rolling. Splitting grenade disappears when shot straight down. Perks triggering on multiple targets doesn't give the correct bonus after hitting a single target. Lifestaff's beacon ability does not heal nor create an AoE. That's a big one. Deep Ring has incompatible perks. Swapping weapons input is lost sometimes when upper body reaction is initiated shortly after. Changing weapons on Paper Doll while an ability is on cooldown does not refresh the UI with the new weapons cooldowns correctly. Burnout and Flesh, Fire Staff and Rapier abilities. Rubber Band off of Ice Gauntlet's Ice Shower ability. Attempting to change an ability on cooldown allows for it to visually appear on multiple keybinds at once. Player desyncs positionally when moving camera while using Hatchet ability Raging Torrent. Positional desync and stutters occur when using heavy attacks with Void Blade while moving camera. Player slides when moving camera during Spear ability Perforate. On occasion, the Blunderbuss ability Splitting Grenade will split through a fort door. Hit scan weapons can potentially miss players point blank when aiming at certain angles. Ice Tomb breaks, leaving players briefly invulnerable. Freeform camera locks on a player with specific settings in targeted healing group mode. Players sometimes experience stuttering when using Great Axe Whirlwind followed by Maelstrom at high RTT. Ice Pylon projectiles do not hit crawlers. And somebody tell me what RTT was again? I forgot. When on or next to uneven ground using Void Blade to attack causes players to snap afterwards. Leaping Strike desync, positional rollback sometimes teleports player. When close to an enemy, Blunderbuss's Splitting Grenade has a grenade explode out of sync. On occasion, the Blunderbuss Mastery Claw Shot's pull is not cancelled by left mouse button. Claw Shot chain video effects do not disappear properly if the ability is immediately cancelled. 250 focus attribute perk does not give any mana for self or group kills. Void Blade model is not properly appearing for remote clients. On occasion, player will animate oddly after reloading Blunderbuss while moving. Divine Embrace and Light's Embrace tooltips don't match that they are small AoE spells. Mortar Charge consumes an extra charge when low on ammo. User has no respawn options after death. Projectiles bounce off collision when directly next or against them. Blunderbuss Splitting Grenade visually shows extra splits upon multiple hitboxes. Using Great Axe charge ability before falling can cause desync and doesn't put ability on cooldown. When activate Void Blade plus Oblivion, sometimes doesn't activate Void Blade and shoots a light instead. Light attack. Blunderbuss Mortar Charge and swapping weapons provides extra basic attack. Void Gauntlet Tethered Focus status effect is not removed from player if active during migration. Leaping Strike gives a burst of movement speed after when the player starts moving. Whirlwind does an additional attack when facing an enemy. PvP enemy health bar doesn't update if player has over 100% maximum HP through buffs and they have not taken enough damage to put them below the normal 100% threshold. Weapon Elemental Chain perk does not explain incompatibility with gems. The bow shoots 2 arrows in one animation. Blunderbuss Claw Shot's chain disappears when pulling to a target. Camera behaves unusually when going prone after firing Poison Shot. Going prone while firing Penetrating Shot can cause the arrow or can consume the arrow without using the ability. Ice or animation canceling Void Blade heavy attacks causes movement snapping. Ice Gauntlet attacking the same target as Ice Pylon ability prevents mana regeneration being granted by Gathering Storm ability. Player's body turns unnaturally if they are weapon swapping while sliding. So there's a glitch if you weapon swap while glitching. That's pretty funny. And expected. Void Blade animations and video effects sometimes appear out of sync when activated while running. AoE targeted area can go through fort gates and damage enemies. Players petting an animal can bypass the collision and get pushed into it by using weapon mastery such as Incinerate or Wind Chill. Some hatchets don't spin along with the VFX angle. Player can loop pulling out and putting away their musket while prone. Blunderbuss Net Shot can hit enemies on the other side of fort gates. Ice spikes will sometimes not load the visual effects for the large ice spike if the caster uses left mouse button at a specific time. Ice Pylon targets and shoots at friendly quest-giving NPC Barkamedes. Oh no. Using Potion with Ice Gauntlet equipped and attacking causes player body to flicker and model corruption after weapon swap. With good timing, canceling Tondo with Evade will cause the ability to hit without playing the visual effects. And Void Blade impact effects sometimes trigger incorrectly, and Outpost Rush summons will target allied player Ice Pylons. So all things crafting, gathering, and items. Hopefully the food one is in here. So loot bags have a lower drop rates. Wait, loot bags have lower drop rates on vital spawn. Vital spawn. Loot bags have lower drop rates on vital spawn. I'm not sure what that means. If any of you know, leave a comment. That's kind of weird. Legendary fishing poles do not drop any item after the player salvages them. Shields never add to overall gear score. Cheers and mic drop emotes are using the wrong icon. Some furnishing recipes are granting low experience compared to similar recipes. Chef hat and chef shirt cannot be obtained due to boss spawning issue. Players will not be able to salvage all of their items in a crafting session when multiples are crafted. Trophies have misleading description information. Players cannot dye the Orichalcum kite shield. I can't dye anything right now. Black powder is sometimes in the incorrect language in Barnacles and Black Powder Expedition. Void Blade ability for Void Gauntlet is appearing attached to the player's leg. Perfect Salvage infused orbs do not have their own category, which is inconsistent from other crafting stations. Nerid shields have inactive dye channels. Barley and First Light is not gatherable. OPR named items not getting third perk on 600 plus upgrade. Warhammer's inventory icons are warped. Various clipping and stretching issues with the engineer set. Blighted Growth's pants has localized text that spills word onto multiple lines. Tooltip of the equipped weapon appears when clicking on right third of the craft button in Workshop. The player is told that skinning a hound requires skinning skill 0 when trying to do it with skinning below 200. Experience bar for trade skill aptitude is inaccurate. Various clipping and stretching issues with the alchemist set. Powerful corruption coding can erroneously apply multiple times. Dead trees that are still standing use the incorrect chopping animation. Several new mutator hatchets have throwing axe projectiles from abilities that don't match their appearance. Players are unable to interact with objects necessary for object completion in expeditions or the open world if at unique item capacity. Unusual behavior when salvaging schematics. When the player has more than one of the same schematic. Honing stones and weapon coatings are inconsistent with each other. All sickles clip with player's arm while gathering, including store purchase sickles. Most Void Gauntlet icons do not match the gauntlet's color variation. All things, so nothing about that food. That must be a new one. All things quests and missions. Seize and enemy reconnaissance faction missions are available during war. Town project marker for explorers needed. The Walsh congregation appears off map. Item icon persists on HUD after completing item turn-in quest with item in quicksort. The last objective and closing cost does not glow. Placement of activity report interactables for the Lost Scarecrow quest are not properly anchored in the world. Unsettled territory faction missions do not have locations listed in the journal. During the house progression quests, ensuring the investment part 2, the objective does not glow. Corruption breach faction missions can appear over other completed missions. Gatherable magnetite is in the wall and player cannot collect it during in the wall's quest. The optional objective disappears when reaching the point of interest for the quest and Long Live the Queen. Wang Ting Z and Ebonscale reaches missing voiceover and lip sync. Encounter AI doesn't have quest markers above them and Hounding the Master. Medley Maestro mentions the Summer Village and Windsward. Some NPCs and Valorhold outposts in Eden Grove lack voiceover. New Alliances is missing the objectives in the HUD. Eberhard Claus has audio that plays at a higher volume than other NPCs. Inconsistency between guide and UI and housing. No compass icon for down payment objective. Follow the traders to Jason Steep. Rubble interactive object for paths unseen encounter is difficult to see. Initial Watchtower quests lack the pin location icon. The Corrupted Hounds and Corruption Swarmers are not tagged for Covenant Initiation, Merrill's Place. Housing progression quest site inspection as disappearing objective. Aulus Fulvius is missing VO when going to accept the original Guardian quest. In the quest Handcrafted to Perfection, there's an inconsistent objective shown and different formatting for both the HUD and journal. A few issues during picking up Answer the Call quest. There is no lost in the Genesis of Malevolence for Waste Not, Want Not. Missing Dryad Bear prevents completion of Mysteries of the Mycelium quest. And Edith's Perchel NPC is missing voiceover when attempting the Giant One's quest. And here's our expedition issues. The Admiral Sharpshooter's gunfire audio sounds distant in Barnacles and Black Powder Expedition. In Mutations, the UI bar for Weary will visually regress and appear segmented. Blowback tracking bar sometimes disappears. Azamella's mind's health does not scale with difficulty in the Depths mutation. Gate at Holdout Against the Corrupted objective can be seen stuttering in Tempest Heart. While carrying the Purifying Flame in Genesis, if players use the Gallop emote, then they could use abilities and keep the staff. The rewards for Dynasty Shipyard do not scale to the mutator level tier list in Mutated Dynasty Shipyard. Weary can be frustrating to players and negatively affect clear times in muted expeditions. Wait, what? Weary can be frustrating to players and negatively affect clear times in mutated expeditions? Like, isn't it supposed to be frustrating? Void Destroyer beam visual effects will penetrate the rubble when players holding the bubble are in motion in Tempest Heart. Team wipe and completion telemetry will trigger if a boss is actively in an encounter when a dungeon times out. Isabella's model unnaturally reset after wiping party during the Chandelier encounter in Tempest Heart. VO at the start of Tempest Heart can fail to play in any language if players change the language during VO playing and dies afterwards. Perk is duplicated in Mutation Drop Information menu. Greenskeeper AoE attacks VFX can remain on the ground if players immediately give up after being downed in Garden of Genesis. Sorry, I almost died there. Rank UI for level 10. Mutators disappear upon force quitting the game. Pause menu tooltips do not repopulate immediately after players leave to main menu and return to the game in mutated expeditions. Difficulty banner displays twice when entering an expedition with mutators enabled. Dynasty Shipyard mutator icons are doubled on the map. The perks listed in the elemental tooltip are not ordered in mutated expeditions. Some of Commander Chen's attacks lack audio that would be expected with the visual effects. All area and standard battle music stops playing after players enters the bathe chambers and Lazarus instrumentality. Boss music does not play after death. Battle music ends abruptly after defeating one enemy in a group in Amrine Excavation Expedition. Walls noticeably change color based on player location and camera, and Isabella does not lip sync her dialogue during the boss intro in Dynasty Shipyard. Chat. Profanity filter active when it should not be. Feed and muted cram or overlap in chat settings in foreign languages. Items linked in chat can be cut off when increasing text font size. Hovering over names in chat doesn't show company info. Switching factions displays the wrong icon in chat. Help chat channel does not work inside expeditions. Speech to text does not function consistently when players leave a group. Player is not able to scroll the chat window in Propus. Chat channel tags not always appearing on chat messages, and player's name may not display properly when using special text characters. Companies, factions, and groups, oh my. Players may enter a bad group state when queuing for 3v3 arenas with a group member who is not loaded into the world. Faction, reputation, rank icons can be colored for the wrong faction. No audio notification when depositing coin into company treasury. When selecting a faction to join, the pages are inconsistent with information given. Players get non-specific player-facing messages when being kicked from group. Player not notified to why company name was moderated. And old group members remain on the map if user leaves while outside of the group's instance. Darkness. Darkness events do not play sound effects upon destruction. Darkness POI inflicting corruption from far range. Darkness event AIs may drop coin on kill. Darkness event music does not play when player moves from one darkness event to another before abandon event timer expires. Moonlight flickering rapidly near Rattlevine Ridge, and NVIDIA Min experiences hitching at the start of darkness events after a fresh client launch. Invasion. Siege equipment disappears for no reason during invasion. Brutes, Spriggans, Bears, and Commanders can teleport around claim point during invasion. Standout players not displaying avatar or name after invasion. Players can sign up and join an ongoing invasion after being AFK kicked. Placing an Inferno trap during an invasion can sometimes cause the inventory to stutter while opening, and you can't leave invasion via the game menu tab. Player-to-player trading and trading post. Items that can be used but not equipped show when they can equip filter. Items that can be used but not equipped show when the can equip filter is selected in the trading post. Holy crap. Player loses coin when they trade coin with a player who receives coin mid-trade and they reach coin cap. Letters and symbols can be entered into price and gear score fields in Trading Post Filters UI. The Trading Post Perks section does not show accurate values for ability perks due to the new scaling values. Disconnecting during player-to-player trading causes items to disappear for some time. Currency values inconsistently use a comma or period to indicate values less than 1 in player-to-player trading. Cancel button can be selected in Trading Post after purchasing an item. Trades do not work after a transfer until the player relogs. When only one trading post is selected, the count of orders for any trading post category is not shown. The left mouse button and shift shortcut cannot be used during the player-to-player tradings, and player cannot send coin to someone in another trade. Outpost Rush. Players sometimes can't join Outpost Rush queue. Forts the player is not close to and Outpost Rush are labeled at a distance. Sometimes friendly summons in Outpost Rush display a red nameplate. Fast travel icons might show over the map in Outpost Rush. Upgraded command post clips into fort walkways. Powder kegs are not auto-added to a quick slot after purchasing at the armory during Outpost Rush with the config enabling it. Players who are queued for Outpost Rush before a server crash will remain in a bug queue after rejoining the game. Players can teleport through destroyed gates in Outpost Rush. Explosive turrets in Outpost Rush lack messaging that explains how to control them and can be killed while unclaimed. War. Siege weapon blueprint in War displays Z axis when attempting to deploy. Moving players around in a party from the raid or army menu can break the display of the group HUD in the top left. Repeater turrets in War and Outpost Rush have model inconsistencies with removal of sights. Ammo counter from attacker side mounted turrets in War may persist on screen for entire play session. Players can get confused in War when transitioning from attacking capture points to the gates. Players will execute a light attack after exiting turret if exit and fire inputs occur on the same frame. Hovering over an empty slot in the war board that was occupied by a player shows that player's social window. Teleporting out of an instance into a fort with an active war or invasion prevents teleport. War repeater turret's aim has a slight offset. Shots hit lower than the center of the reticle. In War, purchased ammunition can stack past 500 if purchased all at once. Siege supply generators never pass 300 and do not stop generating resources. Demoted and kick company members can confirm fortress defense building. And walking with siege weaponry blueprints may cause grass to flicker or disappear. So that's it, folks. Looks like there's a couple things that I noticed that need to be added to it, definitely. And I'll double check and make sure there's not a more updated list before I post this, but I'm pretty sure this is it. So thank you very much for watching. Now you guys know what is known and which bugs are still unknown. And if they are unknown, please get on the forums and let them know. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.